Let's crush an instant Nerdle. Instant Nerdle is the game where you gotta unscramble this equation. So every number and value and equal sign appears exactly once in this equation. The 3 is green, so it's in the right place, and everything else is in the wrong place. So I have to move all these other characters around and make a math equation that makes sense. Division is one of the hardest things you can get. It's just more difficult to figure out what's going on because there's a lot of different places that things can go. So with division, we only have one, so we have two symbols that aren't numbers, right? So the way this is going to have to lay out is either 2 digits, 2 digits, 2 digits, or in this case, it absolutely has to be 3 digits first, and then division here, and then it's either going to be divided by a double digit or divided by a single digit. The equal sign could go in either one of these places. Because our biggest number has to go out front in order to be divided by something, because typically numbers that are bigger get divided by numbers that are smaller and equal numbers that are smaller, right? So our biggest number is this 3-digit number, and we're either going to have the equal sign here or here. I'm going to first test it in the second spot and assume that our answer equals 3. I find division is easier to do if you kind of consider it multiplication in reverse, because I have an easier time multiplying than I do dividing. So what I like to do is like this number times this number equals this number, because that's the way multiplication and division work. They work in opposite orders. So like if this number divided by this number equals this number, then this number times this number must also equal this number. So I'm kind of pretending like the equal sign is here. So I'm just going to test a bunch of different values in this ones place to see if I can make something work here. So I'm just going to go left to right. So 9 could go here. But 3 times 9 is 27, which would mean that this number would end in a 7. And we don't have a 7 to choose from, so 9 doesn't work here. So I'm on to the next number. 2, if I put 2 here, 3 times 2 equals 6, so this number would end in a 6. And we do have a 6. So now I can start testing the tens value. And we only have 3 other numbers that could go in the tens value, so let's give those a try. So the first one, I'm just going to go left to right the same way that I was for this digit. So if this was a 9, 3 times 90 is 270, plus 2 times 3 is 276. We already used our 2, so we don't have a 2 to put out here, so 9 doesn't work. 2 we used here. 1 can't go here because it's purple, so the only other number I can put here is the 8. And again, 3 times 80 is 240, so this would be in the 200s, so 2 can't go here. So 8 doesn't work, which means that 2 doesn't work because I tried every other number that could have gone in the tens digit place. So we've now tried the 9 and the 2 in this spot. 1's not going to work because 3 times 1 is 3, and we only have 1 3, so we can't put a 1 here, can't put an 8 here because the 8 is purple and is on top of that spot. So the last number that we try in this format is 6. And if 6 doesn't work, then I'm going to have to move the equal sign to the one other spot that the equal sign could go. But let's give this a try. So 3 times 6 is 18, so this number would end in an 8. So that worked nicely. We do have an 8 to put there. So now I'm on to the tens digit. So I think we're going to run into a lot of the same problems here. Yeah, I don't think the equal sign is going to work here because every number I can put in this spot. So like 90, if I put 90 here, 90 times 30 is 270. So again, but now we have the 2. Okay, so before the 2 was here, that's why that wasn't working. This probably is going to work. Okay, so 90 times 3 is 270, plus 6 times 3, which is 18. So 270 plus 18 is 288, which doesn't work because we don't have 2 8s to use. Okay, I could try the 2 here, but 26 times 3 isn't even in the hundreds, so that's not going to work. That's 52, so that doesn't work. 1 doesn't work here. I already used the 8, already used the 6. So okay, so this doesn't work. This format doesn't work. I have to try the equal sign in the other spot, and I just do the exact same thing where I'm going to test this ones digit with this digit and see if I can get numbers that work. So hopefully something with the 2-digit answer works because my 1-digit answer didn't work. Okay, so if this is a 9, 3 times 9 is 7. Again, we don't have a 7, so that doesn't work. 2 looks like it could work here. 3 times 2 is a 6. So now instead of trying the 10th digit on this number, I'm trying the 10th digit on this number. So let's try some different numbers here. I have to at least get into the hundreds, so that's something to consider. So 9, 93 times 2 is 186, and that is our answer. That's an instant Nerdle for you, dude. There it is. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.